recommendation on the contractors. If he can hear me.
Good afternoon, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Well, the technology's working. That's a good start.
We can't see your face, so Derek.
Yeah, I'm driving at the moment, so I'm just pulling off to the side so you can see my face and I can hook up properly. Hold on one sec. Just pulling over. Yep, no worries. Don't want to get in a wreck while we're going over the bids. All right.
That would be a bad omen.
It would be. It would be. So here we go. I got a nice spot here.
And I'm going to remind everybody that when we come to questions and answers, it's only going to be one question at a time. Follow-up questions are not permitted. Unless there's no other questions, then you can have a second question.
All right, everybody. Can you see me now?
Yeah, yes, sir.
All right. All right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. I trust everybody's well. So the bid process went smoothly. It was a 30-day bid process, and we went through a minor RFI period of time where the contractors had some questions, and then we also did a walkthrough of the site. So that went well as also. There was a couple questions with regards to the specs for the project, and just to make sure that everybody's on the same page. The way that this process worked was to eliminate change orders to the highest extent possible. I do recommend that whatever contractor is selected, it's advisable to add a contingency, either a 10 to 15% contingency for the project, because when you're digging in the dirt and you're doing a project like this, there's always some unforeseens and things that you can't see because they're buried underground. So it's advisable to have a contingency in place. But that being aside, the majority, 95% of the project was designed so that it eliminated all the observable unknowns. And most importantly, what it does is it corrals the contractors to a biddable set of plans and what they're supposed to construct on site. And that process alone eliminates all the change order back and forth shenanigans that can happen with a project that doesn't get properly engineered and then go through a bidding process. So that's what we went through for that 30 days. And it went very smoothly. The bids came back and we did a preliminary review last Tuesday. And from that preliminary review, we had two bids that were in alignment on the low side, and then we had two bids that were just very high, in my opinion. When I, based on my experience and my expertise, doing this for 20 years, I had a spitball number, that just I put together, between 1.3 and 1.5, and the two bids that came in within that range were legitimate. The others that were way above that range were somewhere around 2.2 was the next highest one, and then 2.9 was the one above that. So, those, in my opinion, were very high. And, so the decision was made to stick with the two lower bidders. And that brings us to today, where we have one at 1.45, and then we have another that's at right at 1.6 million. So does anybody have any questions so far?
Yeah, Derek, I looked at all four proposals, and I'm trying to figure out what crystal ball all four of these people used to give a price. I'll give you an example. JFB tree removal, $22,000. South Florida, $10,000. TNF, 253,000, and Shenandoah, 175,000. How could you go from 10,000 to 100 to over $200,000 for tree removal?
Which one was 10,000, Pastor?
South Florida. So I'm a little leery of the chain link fence. It goes from 44,000 to almost 100,000, depending on which one that you use. And the excavation, which was the last item, goes from 200,000 to 1.2 million. There's a large discrepancy here. Are you sure they all looked at the same thing? I mean, we know that one is extremely high because he probably doesn't want the job, but the other three, there's such a disparity between the numbers that they gave us.
Well, there's a disparity between the two on the low side and then the next, the third highest bid. So, the thing that you have to remember or understand with these types of projects is that, not all contractors have the same in-house capabilities or crews, right? So what does that mean is that, the contractors and not all contractors use the same methods. So, did the bids for JFB and South Florida Grading, did they anticipate that they were going to have a mulcher on site for a week that's going to cost them, $50,000? Or were they going to have a shearing head attachment to their machines, and then they were just going to break it up into smaller pieces and haul it off just like dirt? So, there's different ideas on getting the job done is my biggest point.
Okay, chain link fence, same amount, 3,716 feet. One is 44,000 and the other one's 240,000. There's a $200,000 difference for the same linear footage.
Yeah. So who was the $200,000 price?
South Florida.
So South Florida had
at $65 a linear foot, and JFB is at $12. There's a big difference there.
Yeah, so $65 a linear foot seems pretty expensive for chain link fence and just on a rough basis.
I sat down and tried to compare, and I was trying to figure out why these large differences. And I mean, an estimate is an estimate, you're guessing, but when you have a $200,000 difference on a solid project, I have a problem. Either one underestimated it or one overestimated it.
Well, if the concern is on something like the fence, I did not do a FDOT comparison on a chain link fence because, that would be a unit cost that we could pull off of the DOT because we did use a DOT spec for that fence, right? So, there is a comparable baseline that we can utilize or take a look at on the chain link fence itself.
Okay, there's also a discrepancy on the side.
We have another person here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Donald,
I'm just going to cut in for 1 sec. Derek, DOT spec on fencing is 10 foot on center, right?
Correct.
works fine.
We're going to want 5.
Okay.
Just like you did at the walkway here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Soon as you said FDOT, it made me remember.
Okay. Yeah, so that would be something that we would
that'd be our first change order.
Or we could clarify it ahead of time and have them revise their bids.
Yep.
That would be the best way to do it.
Agreed.
That way they're committed. That way they're committed on the front side, and we're not dealing with the change order machine that they like to employ on a project in the middle of it.
Okay. Thank you.
Derek, I have a question for you. Of the 4 quotes that were submitted, does everybody compare apples to apples. In other words, I'm not concerned about the individual prices, but everything is quoted, the job is being quoted completely as to all your specifications on the RFP.
Correct. Yes. And that's the whole purpose of the RFB is that, that unit cost spreadsheet that you guys are looking at, that was produced by DKK. That was not produced by the contractors. So those are the quantities that we produce for the project. And, that those quantities are based off of the design that you guys paid us to put together. So, we use, all the engineering tools and, the analysis for the project as we're putting it together, and that produces that spreadsheet. And that's a big benefit, on a capital improvement project is that, I'm sure that, you guys are well aware, you leave, the bids, the scoping and the bidding process to 3 different contractors on the same job, and you're going to get 3 different wild presentations. So, our involvement was to corral those different contractors into one set of documents that everybody bids from. And, everybody has a firm grasp on what the plans and design is, as well as the quantities that those plans represent. So it corrals everybody's ability to meander with their own bid, and it focuses everybody's attention on putting together a quality, dependable bid for a project.
Thank you. Any other questions of Derek before he gives us a recommendation? We're waiting for your recommendation, Derek.
Okay, so my recommendation is that you guys go with JFB, not only because it was the lowest price, but they are an established construction company. They have, a broad range of experience, both in commercial and residential construction, site development, as well as, heavy equipment and things like that. So, they're very familiar with the variety of different elements that are part of this project, from, the shell contractor that's going to need to build the diffuser station down there by the reclaim, all the way, to the basic, clearing and grubbing and dewatering part of the project.
And what was their total amount?
1.45.
$1,450 and
One point
well,
four
1.4 million, 354,056.
We don't have those.
No, these were handed out.
Oh,
You were supposed to go home and read them.
Here's one.
I don't have one either.
Well, you did get one in email.
yeah.
Oh, I was supposed to print it out.
You can look through here.
I didn't see it.
and find that.
Okay.
I didn't get this.
There's extra ones here, if someone wants to look through that. Anyone?
That's not this.
This is the whole thing here? Oh,
That's all 4 bidders. I had to find the one for JFC in there.
it's from the top.
Gary, I looked these guys up too on the internet, and I was impressed with them. My concern, and I'm sure some concerned about everybody here, is completion date, start date and completion date. Apparently you said that they work very well to their completion dates, and I just want everybody on the committee to hear that you feel confident with them about getting a completion date from them.
Yes, that will be part of the final commitment from them, because there was a little bit of a discussion out in the walkthrough about the completion date, because we push for a fairly tight completion time frame. We push for 60 days, and because their concern was, there's the rainy season, there's a pinch on supplies for the control structures and the catch basins and things like that. So, we accommodated them, with a 30-day flex period. But the time to perform is a 60 to 90-day time to perform requirement.
Does anybody here have a question on his recommendation, or did they, once they looked at it, feel stronger about another candidate? I'll entertain a motion to accept Derek's recommendation.
So move.
JFB Construction.
And who did the first one, Bruce?
Yes.
Need a second?
And a second by
Second.
Maureen, okay? Any questions or discussion on this motion?
Do we have a
It's
start
it's a
date?
good bit of money,
We have a start date?
not yet. We don't have, well, we can't get a definite start date until they get
Sure.
it from us.
It has to go through the officers.
Yeah, go through the whole chain,
It has
correct?
to go through all that, and then it has to go in front of the delegates. So,
Next one will be officers and then executive board, and to the delegates.
And Derek's planning to be at the delegate assembly to meet with the planner.
Loud. A little bit louder, Don.
Oh, Derek, you're planning to be at our delegate assembly because you're going to watching the planner for the Higgins project.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Okay. So that'll be another good thing. If any of the delegates, any of our board have a question before they presumably approve this, then you can answer it. That'll work out fine.
And Derek is going to be our engineer for this entire project. So this is the cost for the contractor. It doesn't necessarily include the costs for the engineer.
Right.
He's separate.
Would you like me to call the question?
Yes.
Okay, the motion by Bruce Stutzman, second by Maureen Devigier, to accept the proposal from JFB Construction via the recommendation of our architect engineer, PKK. And I'll take the vote. We do have a quorum, by the way. Barely. Thank you for being here, members. Dennis Burrows,
Yes.
Maureen Devigier,
Yes.
Duke Horton,
Yes.
Olga Wolkenstein,
Yes.
David Boas will say yes. John Timmerman,
Yes.
Jerry didn't bunch in, did he?
No.
Bruce Stutzman,
Yes.
Stuart Richland,
Yes.
Mary Jane,
Yes.
Fausto Fabro.
yes,
You know, I should also bring this up. We do have enough money in the treasury to pay for this project.
Do we, Mary Jane?
Yes.
Thank you.
I think I just thought I should let everybody know that we can pay for it.
If we didn't, we better close up.
Yeah.
Glad
You know how
we
some
reached out.
people are, I just thought I'd mention it, let's have. So, thank you, and I will let Donald get with the plans on that.
Yeah.
And you also wanna inform this contractor about the fence requirements, 5 foot on center.
Yes, we'll go ahead and
I
amend
understand
the
that might
plans.
make a difference in the price, but
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
not.
For certain. Well, yeah, more posts, more concrete. It's definitely gonna increase the cost, but it should not be, more than, I would say probably, 10% of the bid.
Okay,
Might add a couple. We'll get that number for you though.
Thank you.
Yep, 10-4. And then, when is the delegates meeting?
The 5th, I believe.
June 5.
first
Yeah.
Friday of the month.
Yeah, June 5th, 9:30 a.m. at the clubhouse.
Okay,
And
we'll go ahead and we'll put that on our schedule.
Fausto,
Yes,
can we interrupt our schedule if Derek has to get on right away?
absolutely.
So if you have to start, if you have something that you have to be there at 9:30, you don't have to start at 9:30, but if you want to, because you have other plans, we can push you up on the format,
Put
on the
Okay.
agenda, okay?
the two
That'd be
things.
great.
Yeah,
Yes. So I'll be there for the discussion with the planner on that development to the north there, and then also for the bid.
okay.
Perfect.
Any questions of Derek before we tell him he can start driving again?
Nope.
Thank you, Derek.
All right, you got it. Have a wonderful day, everybody.
Thank